What I'm gonna do is just boil this water and then pour it over the dates so that while I'm waiting for the almonds to toast, these dates are soaking up. They should soak for about 10 minutes, just until they look they look really gross when they're pumped up. But
just until they look disgusting.
Just until they look like hydrated cockroaches with their skins peeling off. I'm Camille Cogswell. I'm the pastry chef at Zahav restaurant in Philly. And today I'm going to show you how to make rugelach. Rugelach is a traditional Jewish pastry, but there's two versions. There is the American Jewish pastry, which has more of an Eastern European background, a lot of times filled with dried fruit and nuts. And then there is the version which is traditional in Israel, which is a yeasted dough. It traditionally has a chocolate filling. Today, we're gonna make kind of like a take on both, a yeasted rugelach dough with a date and almond filling. So for this dough, you're going to need 450 grams of flour, which is 1 pound, 200 grams of milk with 10 grams of dry active yeast bloomed in, 1 stick of butter, 3 egg yolks, 45 grams of sugar, and half a teaspoon salt. I'm gonna start out by putting my warm milk with the dry active yeast bloomed in into the bowl. I'm gonna add my pound of AP flour, egg yolks, the sugar, salt, and the butter. So I've got the dough hook attachment on the mixer here. We're just gonna start this on low. It'll be about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm just gonna scrape down the bowl a little bit here just to get the flour that's stuck on the sides. Our dough has come together. Gently knead the dough for the last little bit. I made chocolate chip cookies with my mom a lot growing up, like that specifically, I remember. I started taking culinary classes in high school and really, really loved it. I was also taking chemistry classes at the same time, and I was really, really interested in the chemistry and the baking and how they intertwined. And then I ended up at CIA when I had to decide whether I was gonna do culinary arts or baking. It was tough because I wanted to do both, but it was pretty much a clear choice for me. It's a little hard to pull apart, which means we've worked the gluten a little bit and it's got some good structure to it, but it's also still soft. I can put my thumb impressed in there and it pops back a little bit. So we've got like a nice soft ball of dough here. We're just gonna wrap it in plastic and then put it in the fridge to chill for 4 hours minimum. So for the filling, you're gonna need 230 grams of pitted dates. Medjool are really tasty and super juicy. 100 grams of almonds, 60 grams of honey, 40 grams of brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. What I'm gonna do is just boil this water and then pour it over the dates so that while I'm waiting for the almonds to toast, these dates are soaking up. So I just pulled these out of the oven. The almonds have been toasting in a 325 oven for about 10 minutes until they're just lightly golden. And we wanna use those hot. We're gonna add that to the food processor. We're also gonna add our brown sugar, our salt, and our honey. Try and grind this into a paste to make our own almond butter. We'll scrape down the sides once or twice. You can see that this is nice and pasty now. You can kind of like mold it with your fingers. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna drain these dates. They've been soaking for about 10 minutes. We're just gonna add these to the food processor as well. And then just finish blending all these ingredients together into a nice smooth paste. Beautiful. So this is our filling. It's got some chunks of almonds in there, but it's a nice paste. Looks kind of like a rough almond butter that you would buy in the store, freshly made. We've made the date almond filling. We have our dough here, which is chilled for at least 4 hours. I chilled this one overnight. So we're only gonna work with half of this dough at a time. So I'm just gonna cut this dough in half. I'm gonna make sure it's like nice and square. And I'm gonna wrap up the other half of the dough, toss down a little bit of flour, as I'm rolling it out, I'm gonna keep squaring it up to try and keep it in as rectangular a shape as possible. So when I first started working at Zahav, it was really different for me because I hadn't worked anywhere Mediterranean or Middle Eastern before. The flavor combinations and the techniques are really different from the French and American style baking. It was really invigorating because there's so many really cool, like exotic to me, ingredients, and they're all like orange blossom water and rose water and all types of floral ingredients, as well as nuts and dried fruits and fresh fruits. It's such a plentiful bounty of ingredients to work from. We're gonna roll this to about 7 inches by about 18 inches, as thin as possible. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like a quarter of this filling, about a half a cup, and I'm just gonna spread it on the bottom 2/3. So now that I have the filling spread on the bottom 2/3 of my dough, I'm gonna fold the top over, the top that doesn't have the filling. I'm gonna fold this like a letter, but from top to bottom. So I'm gonna fold the top third over the middle third and the bottom third over the top third. So we just layered 3 layers of filling in between 3 layers of dough. So at this point, I'm gonna wrap it in plastic again, put it in the fridge to chill. This has been chilling for about 20 minutes or so. You had your cup of coffee, you took your dog for a walk, you looked at cats on Instagram. You wanna chill the dough in between each step that you do here, just to get it really cold to develop that flavor from the yeast. We're just gonna do the same thing one more time. So, a little bit of flour. Last time we did it, we folded it like this, right? So now we wanna do it the other way. So again, we're gonna go to 7 by 18. Another quarter of this filling, top third that doesn't have filling on it, over the middle third, and then bottom third over the middle third. Nice little package we got again. Wrap it in plastic, go have another cup of coffee. It's just been chilling for about 20 minutes or so. All right, last roll out. We're gonna roll it to just larger than we did last time. So I am making sure that we're getting to about 8 by 20. And we're gonna cut this in half lengthwise. So 4 inches each. Let's trim the bottom edge here. Even it off. Mark the dough. On the outside edges, we're gonna do every 2 inches from the bottom. Then we're gonna do every 2 inches on the inside edges too, but alternating. If you want them to look perfect, then have a ruler. I'm kind of a perfectionist and a control freak. But if you're cool with them looking super rustic, which is also awesome, then you don't have to have a ruler, just eyeball it. So I'm just connecting the dots here diagonally. So this edge to this score, this edge to this score. All right, so now that I've got all my triangles, I'm just gonna take them and roll them up from the bottom, from the fat end to the point of the little triangle, and put them right there. If you're going for a really crazy rustic look, I don't know, make it all modernist, knots and stuff. Do whatever the hell you want. You could like try and make like a sculpture figure. You could like make this look like Mike Solomonov, which I might try and do, you know? Make it a little stick figure. Rugelach, my boss. Let's see what he thinks about that. So we're just gonna cover these shaped rugelach with some plastic and put them in a spot wherever in your house that's somewhere between 70 and 90 degrees. If your room is super cold, it's gonna take maybe 2 hours. If it's super warm, it might take 30 minutes. All right, so these have been proofing in a warm place for about 45 minutes. Really, you don't wanna go by time, you wanna go by jiggle. You just wanna kind of like move the pan a little bit. It's not gonna be a super dramatic jiggle. See that guy right there? He's jiggling. The yeast has proofed a little bit, it's gotten active, and that's what you want before they go in the oven. Pro tip, I just combined egg yolks with equal parts water, and then mix them together, put it in this bottle, and then you're egg washing all of them at the same time in a super even layer. So we're gonna put these in the oven, 325 for about 7 minutes, then we're gonna rotate them and then do another 7 minutes. They'll probably take 20-25 minutes to bake. So these have been baking for about 20-25 minutes at 325. We glaze them with a little bit of syrup of 1.5 parts sugar to 1 part water, half a zest of an orange. So the reason we're hitting them as soon as they come out of the oven is to seal in the moisture, make them super sticky and delicious. When the cold syrup hits that hot pastry, the sizzling sound is actually some of the water in the syrup evaporating and leaving the sugar onto the pastry. And voila, orange syrup is gonna add a little extra flavor to our rugelach. This is our finished rugelach. You can see that we've got tons of little layers of filling and dough in there. It's really making me smile just looking at it. We'll syrup him too. I made a little gingerbread man voodoo doll. This is my boss.